oh, yay, I forgot I ordered this.
I was noticing more and more of my clients had ADHD. So, like any good coach, I thought, I better look into this ADHD thing because I just thought it was for naughty schoolboys and blue smarties and bad parenting. So then I started reading books, listening to podcasts, the more I understand about ADHD, the more I can help my clients. She said, people like us. And I was like, what, coaches? And you were like, no, with ADHD.
I don't like groups. And if you put me in a crowded room, I will find the edge and I will just look on.
I thought every fucker was like this, and it turns out it's not. It's an ADHD thing.
Unless you are, I don't know when someone's flirting with me. Stuck my tits in his face within like 30 seconds of getting into the car. Had no clue what I was doing.
Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to Confessions of an ADHDer. I'm Alice, and I'm super excited to have you here, and I'm really excited because I've got a guest joining me today, which I'll introduce her into them in a minute. So obviously, this is the podcast where I share a weekly ADHD-fueled fuck-up and the science behind it, hoping that a little bit of my chaos can help make sense of yours. It's been about a year now since the ADHD diagnosis, so obviously it's not lost on me that, yes, I am a time management coach with ADHD. So we're going to keep it real, we're going to keep it honest, and we're also going to unpack the psychology of why this happens as well. Just a quick note, please remember that I'm not a medical professional, thank God, and this is all my own lived in experience as well. So please grab a cuppa, get comfy, and let's dive in. Okay, so I am really excited to share today that we have a guest, and that guest is Alisha! Alisha, welcome to the show, lovely. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, lovely. Excited to be here with you.
I'm so excited. So, Alisha, before we're going to dive into ADHD and confessions, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do. Obviously, I know, but for purpose of listeners.
Yeah, so I'm the Quiet Rebellion Coach, CEO and founder of the Quiet Rebellion Co. And I provide a space for gentle rebels unlearning who they had to be, becoming who they truly are, one quiet rebellion at a time.
Amazing. So the reason why Alisha and I know each other is because I have had the absolute pleasure of working with Alisha as her coach. And I'm just going to share this little backstory about how ADHD even came into my life. So when I started working with Alisha was very upfront, told me about her ADHD, and I was like, yeah, cool, no problems, love, because, time management queen here, like, I'll be able to help. And I was noticing more and more of my clients had ADHD. So like any good coach, I thought, I better look into this ADHD thing because I just thought it was for naughty schoolboys and blue smarties and bad parenting. So I was like, fuck, this seems like an actual thing. I'm going to have to look into this because the more I understand about ADHD, the more I can help my clients. So then I started reading books, listening to podcasts, doing all that kind of stuff. And obviously, Alisha, you were really kind in sharing a lot of the stuff that was going on for you in your brain and blah, blah, blah. And then I think I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but there was one day when you said, people like us. And I was like, what, coaches? And you were like, no, with ADHD. And I was like, I ain't got ADHD, love. And you were like, oh. And it was, for me, the first little dip into somebody mentioning I might have ADHD. And that really was the trajectory of not just learning about ADHD for my clients, which obviously I would have done anyway, but then when I was reading up about it, I was like, fuck me, this is like reading about myself. I thought everybody was like this. And I'm going to use the word normal, and we are normal, so I'm not like dissing ADHD as saying we're not normal, but you get what I mean, the neurotypical brain. I was like, I thought every fucker was like this, and it turns out it's not, it's an ADHD thing. So Alisha, you will forever be the woman who taught me about ADHD and changed my life for the better by discovering I've got ADHD. So I have got so much gratitude for you, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here today. I would have no fucking idea. I'd be still struggling and muffling through life just thinking I was broken. So lots and lots of gratitude. But the thing that I wanted to talk to you today about, obviously on Confessions of an ADHDer, are when you find out you've got ADHD or you talk to other ADHD people, you go, oh, I thought everyone did that. And you're like, I thought that was
Yeah.
normal. And then you realise it's not. And you're like, oh, it's an ADHD thing. So I think there's just so many things that are ADHD that we don't even realise because you only know your own brain. So I would love to pick your brains on that one because yeah, there's just so many ADHD things that we think everybody has. So like tell us like what are some of yours? What are some of yours since knowing that you've got ADHD that you're like, huh, that's an ADHD thing.
Well, like this morning. So this morning I opened a package that I forgot I ordered. And I was like,
Classic ADHD.
I know, I was like, oh, yay, I forgot I ordered this. And I thought, oh, it's come with this really cute free badge. And I was like, look, I was like, oh, and it says, you can't see, but it says the reader at the bottom. And I was like, oh my God, that's a sign sent from the universe, right? Yeah, no, I bought it.
Hang on a minute, did you order it?
Yeah, I was just like, wow. So I had this moment of like, oh my God, that's so lovely and beautiful. And I was like, no, Alicia, you bought it.
You're like, oh my God, it's a sign from the universe. You're like, no, it's a sign from past you. Like it was like you yesterday delivering on Amazon Prime.
Well, I think it
That
might
was
have been
classic
slightly
ADHD.
longer in my defense, but I was just like, well, thank you, past me. But it was slightly marred by the fact that it wasn't quite as universe inspired as I thought it was. But no, on a serious note, I think I know. But I think one of the biggest things is how we internally process. Because obviously we've been having conversations about being ADHD, and when I discovered that, because I don't have your atypical could do better if she applied herself school report. So like initially when I'm like discovering and researching and looking into this, I'm like, well, I don't have these typical school reports. Like, I can't be, basically, even though I'm surrounded by spicy brains. Like, all of my friends are, like, clearly, like, on the spectrum
Yeah.
somewhere. Everyone that I
Yeah.
know.
Your vibe attracts your tribe, right? Yeah.
Exactly, like 100%. But because, like in the early days, like I said, I didn't have this typical, if she just sat down, or if she just applied herself, or if she didn't, if she stopped yakking, kind of school report. Because like everyone else I was speaking to, they're like, I've got this typical school report, and everyone said the same. If they just sort of
Yeah,
applied
I think I had
themselves.
that typical school report where I was
Yeah.
actually, this might surprise a lot of people, I was an A-star student. Like, I actually am pretty intelligent, which I know doesn't come across on the Instagram stories, but it was this, I think it was the typical easily distracted and distracts others easily, answers back, always asks why, can't sit still, but they couldn't expel me because I was a fucking straight A student. Although I say that I did actually get expelled before my GCSE, but we'll save that story for another day. But I still came out with straight A's. So yeah, I think it is that I was that classic report. So that wasn't you.
No, I didn't have that. So I'm like, ended up going down like basically a bit of a rabbit hole. Cue hyperfixation, ADHD. But even that, I was just like, oh, I'm just interested. I'm just researching. That's just how I am. I just like to know things. And I came across this ADHD term, and essentially what the paper sort of said to me was that the deficits within one are made up for the strengths within the other, and vice versa. So you can pass off as normal. It's only when you actually sort of start speaking about the internal processes and your internal thought patterns and the inner critic that you're like, hold on a minute, something's a bit different. But like you said, because it's our inner world and we only know our own brains, I'm like, this is how the world is, right? And it
Yeah.
just so happened
Yeah.
that it collided with a year of therapy as well. So, like, there was a lot, like, being unpacked that year.
Yeah. That's so true, isn't it? I think that's the problem because I think, and I was in this camp, that ADHD presents itself physically. So
Mhm.
you think naughty schoolboy, fidgeting, not being able to sit still. And to be honest, that was me as a kid. And when I said to my nan, bless her, about the ADHD, she went, oh yeah, that makes sense now for why you was a child. I literally was always climbing in the cupboards. Like I wasn't naughty. I didn't like crayon on the walls and tell my parents to go fuck themselves. Like I wasn't like naughty. I was just hyperactive. And I think had I been a boy, you would have gone, I think she's got ADHD, but because I'm a girl, they just were like, she's a little shit. So I was that kid that would push. Bear in mind, I'm not actually particularly big. Like I'm 5'3" and I'm fully grown. So I wasn't particularly big as a kid, I don't think, but I would just go up to the biggest kid possible and like push them off a swing because I wanted to go. I wouldn't wait my turn on a slide. I would just like bypass everybody and slide down it. I would go into shops, into mannequins, and you wouldn't be able to find me because I'm in the display window, in the mannequin. And when I say in the mannequin, I mean I'm actually like getting under the dress and like hiding under it. Just shit like that. So it wasn't naughty, it was just chaotic. So my nan was like, oh, that makes so much sense. So I think when it's physically presented like that, it's obvious, but it's the internal processing bit, isn't it? So for me, it's things like my hyperfixating, my hyperfocus, I cannot shut this fucking brain up. Like it is fucking constant in there. And I remember saying something to my mum once, and I was like, is it silent in your head? And she was like, yeah. I was like, what? Just like people have silence in their head. I was like, and it was just like, but I can't hear inside your head. So I thought everybody had an internal fucking radio show in their head 24/7. I thought that was normal.
No, and there's, like you say, you can have the external presentation, but this is quite often for women, it's very internal. You have internal hyperactivity, it's referred to, and it's where the brain doesn't shut up and you get the jitters, and you might have like the leg twitching, and you can't sit still. That was me. Couldn't sit still. If like,
and I'm always fidgeting, which I've now learned as a word is stimming. So I'm always tapping my foot and I'm always like rubbing my finger. And actually, absolute side note, when I got divorced, I really missed my wedding ring, and I thought it was because I really missed my wedding ring, which if anyone's ever seen my wedding ring, I got it handmade. Not handmade? Yeah, I designed it myself and got it handmade. It's fucking beautiful. And I thought that's what I missed. And I realise now that it's not. What I miss is that was my stimming finger, and that was the thing that I used to rub. So that's what I missed, not necessarily the wedding ring. So yeah, it's those internal hyperactivity things, right?
Yeah, and I have 2 rings that like I cannot go out the door without wearing for that exact reason, and if I don't, I actually get dysregulated. It's very difficult for me to remain regulated. Like it's usually my thumb, and I'm the other side that I have to have a ring on that finger, because that's the one that I'm either pulling off and on or twisting or like you say, stimming. Yeah.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, is it a fidget ring?
No, I've got I think I told you a few months back, I've got a penchant for vintage rings, and I can spot one a mile off. So pretty much everything that I have is like either Edwardian or vintage.
Okay. No, I was just wondering because something that has helped me is having a fidget ring. So if anyone's going, what? Like it basically is a ring that you can rotate, so you can like rub it, and it's like a ring within a ring. So it kind of circles around itself, which I find very soothing. So yeah, I have found the fidget ring helpful. Although very annoyingly, I got obviously my size wrong, so it doesn't fit my finger properly. So I'm gonna have to probably get another one. So anyway.
I did try one
it's
before,
the
but
stuff.
it just irritated me. I don't actually like it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't actually like the sensation. I'm very sensory as well. I'm very particular about what I wear, the smells, Yeah, that's another thing.
So let's talk about that actually, because that's something that I'm learning is an ADHD thing that I didn't realise. And I know this about you. It's sensory, textures. That's been a thing for you, hasn't it? That I've learned from you. I didn't realise that was an ADHD thing. So talk us through that. Like, what are some of these sensory doodahs? That is not a technical term, by the way, so don't Google that.
It's ADHD technical terms. So I'm very particular.
Sensory doodahs.
Thingamabobs, yeah. I love it. I've got a whole dictionary from my clients of like ADHD language. It's brilliant.
Do you know what? We do
Um,
come up with the best words because Becky in my Business by Design community, she calls it procrastinating, which obviously
yeah,
is a combination of procrastinating and faffing, which when you're a time management coach, a lot of your clients procrastinate. And I was like, that word is fucking brilliant. I was like, ADHDers come up with the best fucking words. So anyway, sensory
100%.
doodahs, talk to us, Alisha.
Sensory doodad. So yeah, I'm very particular about the type of like blankets, for example. And in fact, I have to have a blanket. Like even in summer,
I don't know why that's making me laugh so much. I was like a very particular with my blankets.
yeah, yeah, I might have a couple of blanket boxes or three, you know.
I do get that though. I do love a weighted blanket.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm very particular. It's like they're very, very soft, and they're just yeah. It's just a comfort thing. And socks, so particular with socks. But I'm very funny as well. So in summer, do not put anything on my feet. It absolutely just nope, nope. Don't like it. Too much. Too hot. Too just nope. But in winter, oh my God, I have the fluffiest socks and yeah, socks is a huge, huge thing. Even when it comes to like my tops, yeah, anything that touches my skin needs to be like, I can't stand scratchiness of any form at all.
Yeah.
Like, so labels can be an issue. And I'm just,
Label, yes, I have to cut the label out of everything because if a label touches me, it is like I'm being stabbed.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. If it's one of those crinkly labels as well, I can't stand the noise. So I can't remember what it's called when like you're really sensitive to like noise. But if there's any kind of like sharp crackling, I'm just like like nope. It's a nope. And that can happen with traffic noise as well. If there's too much traffic noise when
yeah,
I'm driving, not good.
yeah, yeah. Do you know what? That's really true. I was talking to a friend the other day, and he was driving, which in hindsight, he should not have been video calling and driving at the same time. But anyway, he was driving and a siren went past and he was like, oh my God, my fucking ears. And I was like, ugh, as well. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, yeah, like the
And
sirens,
motorbike.
ADHD people, and oh my God, motorbikes. Ugh, motorbikes, sirens. Like, I'm living back in Gravesend at the moment, house for sitting reasons, you know, it is a bit chabby. The boy racers, they're still a thing here, apparently. So there's been a few of those drove past and I'm just like, mate, my ears, my fucking ears. But yeah, the noise thing, like loud traffic just suddenly like rumbling past you. It's like, oh, what is that? It's piercing. It's horrible.
Yeah, I'm just a nope. Nope. I end up like
Yeah,
if I'm moving, obviously not in a car because I'm driving. I've got to be ultra aware. But if I happen to be like walking, it's an instant standstill until I sort of like
yeah,
it's horrible. Can't stand it.
yeah. Are you with the sensory thing then as well? I'm a bit weird. I love a weighted blanket. I
Mm.
have no understanding of spatial awareness with people, and I literally am like a limpet to people because I'm like I like the weight of something on me, so I love a weighted blanket. But then at the same time, like I'm wearing a bit of a roll neck today, and it keeps every now and again touching my. I was going to say Adam's apple, but I'm not sure I've got one. And I'm like, and I have to keep like pulling it down a little bit because
Yeah.
I'm like, don't fucking touch my neck.
Yeah, so I've got a similar sort of, it's not even a roll neck, it just so happens that it's a bit fluffy like yours. It's a blue jumper, and for some reason it just rides up. But the minute it gets here, I'm like,
Yeah.
get away.
Yeah, as soon as it touches the Adam's apple, it's
We
like
don't have
yeah, it
Adam's
makes me feel
apple.
a
We're
bit.
not men.
Oh,
Our
you know
throat.
what
It's
I
called a
mean.
throat.
A throat. Okay. Whatever. Medical terms, sensory doodahs, Adam's apple, whatever. But yeah, no, I'm the same, and I never realised that was an ADHD thing. I
Yeah.
just thought I was weird, and I was oversensitive, and everything else that you get called.
I thought I was just particular because I've always been this
Yeah,
way, and because I was ridiculed for it as a child, then like you say, particular freak,
yeah,
all that kind of stuff,
yeah.
and but you like what you like.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
No,
I'm very
I'm funny with the
processed and stuff.
textures and stuff. Yeah. funny with the textures. Yeah, and so anything else then? So internally processing, the hyperfixating, blanket socks, labels, noise, all these kind of things. Are there any other things that you've noticed over the years you're like, that's an ADHD thing? Because I think what you've just said is really important to remember, that when you're younger and you're growing up and you don't realise you've got ADHD, so other people don't realise because you haven't told them. So you do, even if it's done with love out your best mates, you do get taken the piss, or you do think you're the odd one out or whatever. And then when you discover, oh, actually these things are ADHD, it kind of like relieves you a bit. And it's like, okay, these are just like the signs, symptoms, and, you know, the reasons because of ADHD and stuff. So yeah, have there been any others for you recently that you're like, that's ADHD, you motherfucker?
Yeah, I think like how my friendships are, like I don't like groups. And if you put me in a crowded room, I will find the edge and I will just look on. Like I do not, unless I'm with someone who I'm like, is like, like my best friend kind of thing. So I prefer like one-on-one or very small group interactions. And when I say small group, I'm talking like probably a maximum of 3 people. Like I do not like.
Me, myself, and I.
Pretty much. And I do have to bookend any social time with a lot of rest. So even before I go out, I need to make sure that I've got enough alone time. And even when I get like, so I've got a birthday meal this weekend. There is nothing in the calendar for Sunday because it will just completely take all of my spoons, and I want my own time. But yeah, I don't like it. I'm very socially awkward, which you wouldn't think. Like one on one, I'm very confident. Like people are often really surprised when like we'll go out to a gig or something. I'll go out to a gig because I'm with you, but you'll see a very different side to me where I sort of nuzzle into you, or I'll just go, like I say, I'll go find a wall.
Yeah. Do you know what? That's so interesting, because I think I'm very similar, but I think I come across very loud, very gobshite, very extrovert, very confident. And I am. That is one part of me, but there's also a part of me that I need my alone time, and I can get very overstimulated very quick. And yes, I'll be a gobshite and I'll give banter to the group of people next to us at the gig or whatever, but I can suddenly very quickly turn into I'm being excluded, I'm being left out. It will panic me. And also to, like you say, bookend with me time. Now, obviously, in my professional day job, I'm a time and energy management coach. So I will always advocate energy management, energy-led time management. Fill your cup, know your fillers and killers. If you know you're going to get drained by that party, that's okay. Don't say no if you don't want to, but just make sure, like you say, you're bookending it with a little bit of me time. And I think sometimes we forget about that because we might have time in the calendar, but we don't necessarily have the energy. And I think this is where a lot of us, ADHD or not, go wrong, is because they just go, yeah, I've got space Friday night, squeeze me in. And actually what they need for that Friday night is some alone time, because Saturday they're going out shopping or whatever. And let's be honest, fucking shopping malls are like ADHD fucking nightmare. But something you just said there, lovely, that's made me really go, yeah, I'm the same. And I don't know why I've not thought of this before. If I'm going out to a party, which as I've got older happens less and less, I like the process of getting ready. Number one, because I like doing my hair and makeup, and actually when I was younger wanted to be a hair and makeup artist, so I love that kind of stuff. I actually like putting on some music and having a glass of wine on my own whilst I do it. Now, if there's somebody else in the room as well, that's cool as well. I was going to a party the other day. And my friend wasn't coming to the party, but she sat, we had nibbles and chatted whilst I did my makeup, and I really loved that. But if I was on my own, I want to listen to music. And I thought, that's weird, because normally when I'm getting ready in the morning for like work, I like to listen to a podcast because I feel like it's dead time, I'm educating myself. So I did wonder this the other day of like, why is it I don't want to listen to a podcast whilst I'm getting ready for a party? And I thought it was because I was like, you're being a loser listening to a business podcast whilst getting ready for a party. But now you've said that, it's just fucking clicked. The reason why I don't want to listen to Alex Hormozy or a business podcast is because I need some fucking quiet alone time before I'm about to be overstimulated in a room full of people. So having someone in my ear, even if it's a podcast, is actually too much for me. And what I need to do is put on my favourite playlist on Spotify. That has just made a little like moment for me.
Exactly the same when I'm at university. Like, I'm okay to listen to the audiobook on my way into university, but after a day at university of
Yep.
obviously a constant socialising, lecturing, taking in a lot of information, then it's the
You're
regulate
done.
playlist on my way back. Yeah, it's the classical, like, orchestral type stuff. The cinematic. I love cinematic sort of soundtracks, so I have a whole playlist of
I do as
them.
well. Makes me feel. It's called Epic. I called it Epic on my Spotify, and it makes me
Yeah,
like I'm like in my own fucking movie. Like,
yeah, yeah. Sometimes
FYI,
my
I don't know if
daydreams
that's
go there.
ADHD or if that's just me, or if that's just me and Alisha, because we're weird.
Yeah, I can play my own part in my own little movie. I do quite a
Yeah,
lot. I think
yeah,
it's for
yeah,
me. I've just put that down as to processing. If you're
yeah,
processing
yeah. It's
things.
so true. Yeah, it's so true. So even things like at the moment, I'm only a 10-minute walk from the station, which is a fucking dream. So like yesterday, I was back to back, and then I had the walk to the station, and then I was about to meet somebody for a coffee in London, go for some appointments, and it's like, right, in that 10-minute walk I'll catch up on all my DMs, and I didn't. I just listened to my Epic playlist, and I think it is just I need that decompression regulating time energy filler before I'm about to go into round 2 of something and be overstimulated in London and people and yada yada yada. So yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I was listening to Brené Brown's new book. It's freaking epic to the point where I'm going to buy a copy. And I can't remember what she called it, but basically she said you need transition time. And you need that in
Yes.
any area of life. And I believe Brené has come out as ADHD herself. And she said, like, any interruption in that cycle essentially resets it, but it also, like, I'm paraphrasing, but worsens it. So, like, it will create an anger response if that sort of chamber time. I can't remember what she called it, but essentially it's like having that decompression chamber time. And I teach
Yeah.
my clients this as well. I call it purple time because often a lot of my clients aren't getting enough self-care. And I think one of the biggest takeouts from discovering that I'm neurodivergent is how important it is to prioritize that self-care and time with yourself for emotional regulation.
Yeah, oh my God, absolutely. Yeah. And I always advocate as well, like, don't have back to back. So when I say to people, like, oh, I've got a back to back day, like, I have, but I've also got like 10-minute buffers in between stuff because I know that I need that little 10 minute of like breather, making a cup of tea, listening to some music just to switch gears so that I'm not like boom, boom, boom. So yeah, when I say I'm back to back, I am, but because I have also put that little bit of like me time in for whatever I need or that little bit of transition time. Or I'll say to people like, you've booked in an hour Zoom, but I'm going to get off after 15 minutes because I need time before I jump onto the next one or something. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
sometimes we forget that. ADHD or not. So yeah. Okay, cool. Love it. Anything else that you were like,
Probably like a couple of my relationship like stories. Honestly, I
spill the beans,
can't
girl?
flirt. I can't flirt for toffee, honestly. And I can be so oblivious as well. And I think probably one of the funniest stories, which is wearing the jumper for uh comedic purposes, talking to this
Just for people
guy.
that, oh, I just dribbled then. Did you see that? That's bloody disgusting. Sorry, people that are like watching this on camera. I got so overexcited by Alicia's jumper there. So it just for context, we're recording this at Christmas, not on Christmas Day. We're not that sad. And Alicia's got a very lovely Christmas, sparkly, lit up jumper on. If you can't see, yeah, it's Stitch, as in Lilo and Stitch, with a Christmas hat on and some sparkly lights. So picture that as she tells this story.
Yeah. So talking to this guy, and we happened to sort of be talking from end of November, and we decided to obviously have our first date obviously towards mid-December. And part of this conversation was like, I'm checking, do you like fluffy socks? It's important that you like fluffy socks. It was a bit tongue-in-cheek, but I'm like, if you don't like fluffy socks...
You're like, your Tinder profile's like, must like weighted blankets and fucking hate labels.
Pretty much. I'm like, if you don't like fluffy socks, I think it's a bit of a red flag. So, as it is, he loves fluffy socks. So, we're on to a winner.
Oh, he's a keeper then. He's a keeper.
100% is just like me in that. And like, so one of the conversations was like, oh, what's your view on Christmas jumpers? Because obviously it's topical. Anyway, it transpires that it became a thing. He loves Christmas jumpers. So I was like, okay, for our first date, let's wear a Christmas jumper. But then it occurred to me that my last Christmas jumper was probably bought about, 10 years ago from Primani, and it's my ultimate, like, comfy jumper, but it's not wearable out in public. It's
like for your eyes only.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely an indoor jumper now. So I was like, right, I need to go and get a new jumper. And I'm like, right, so off I toddles to like Asda. There are other supermarkets available, of course. And I walk in and I see this jumper. It's like on the front display, and I'm like, nailed it. So like I'm going up looking, and like then I notice that it has lights. And not just any lights, it has 3 settings. And I'm like, I have absolutely nailed this. It's in one of my favourite colours. It's got a bit of sparkle. It's got flashing lights. Like, I am winning. I am going to smash this first date, right? So, gets to the first date. And I'm well happy with this jumper to the point where, like, I had a conversation with the lady who was next to me. And she was also looking at Christmas jumpers. I was like, yeah, but look at this one. It has, like, 3 light settings. Like, absolutely, like, loving this jumper. So off I toddles with this jumper, gets to the first date, and I'm waiting there. And I know the make and model of this car. And the same make and model comes up and just drives straight past me. And I didn't get a look at the driver, so I'm like, oh my God, he's like taken one look and just driven off. Anyway, transpires.
ADHD, rejection, sensitivity, right?
Like, I was just like, and it's not the first time that's happened, to be honest. So, I was just like, oh, like, never mind. And I was literally just about to start, like, walking back home when, like, literally 30 seconds later, the same make and model shows up. And it was actually him, but he still drove past me, but only to turn around. So I was like, oh my God, like, in the space of 30 seconds, like, I've been rejected twice in my brain.
I've been rejected twice!
I'm just like, fuck's sake, what's going on? Anyway, as it transpires, it wasn't, he was just turning around because we needed to go the other way. And, we clicked straight away, which was lovely. But the first thing that I did was obviously Christmas jumper. So I'm there, I'm like, check this out. I'm like, look, it's got 3 settings. It flashes, slow flash, stays on, and I'm like this. I'm not even considering what I'm doing. I'm just really impressed with this jumper. So obviously,
this is definitely an ADHD thing as well, where you get very excited about something. So you get so excited to the point it's a little bit scary for the other person. I have noticed that in myself.
Thankfully, he is also neurodivergent, so he completely...
Thank fuck!
So, thank God, thank the Lord for that. So anyway, date goes really well. It's really magical. Best date I've ever had. Genuinely, really lovely. And we enter into a relationship. Anyway, fast track, 6-7 months later, he then tells me his version of our first date. And I'm like, obviously I was innocent, I'm just showing my jumper. He's like, yeah, you got in my car and you shoved your boob straight in my face. And I was like, what? I was like, excuse me? So he was like, you were gorgeous anyway. And then he went, you shoved your amazing rack in my face. And he was like, so I was onto a winner here. Hang on a minute. I was so innocent. He was like, I know, that's what made it adorable. Was that you had no clue what you were doing. You were just showing me your jumper.
Look at my fucking tits, mate.
Yeah. Well, I can't hide them. There's no putting them away. Like, there's nothing that I can do. I I'm just like so impressed with this jumper because it's got everything. It's got sparkles, it's got flashing lights, it's got Stitch, and Stitch kind of has become a thing. So I'm like, I have nailed this jumper. Yeah, I stuck my tits in his face within like 30 seconds of getting into the car. Had no clue what I was doing.
So is that not in the book of flirting? Do we not do that? I don't know what asking me. I'm fucking shit at flirting.
Well, I wasn't flirting though. I was just so like, this jumper's amazing. And the thing is, it's not just amazing, it's soft. So
Do you know what though? You present a very good problem. Like, I've not really dated before, but now I've got to contend with dating, knowing that I've got ADHD, and I'm like, oh man, this is going to be a fucking minefield because I do think we are a little bit retarded when it comes to dating.
yeah, I was like this was a couple of years ago, and again having a date with a guy. He's made me dinner. And, we're having a lovely evening. We're just chilling, chatting. And he'd bought some, like, extra special, like, choc chip shortbreads, like, for dessert. I know. I love a good shortbread, man. And they were the extra special
It's underrated.
range. 100%.
Nice.
And then he'd made a cup of tea, and I was just like, do you know what? We got the fire on, and I'm like, this is super cozy. Again, winter,
Yeah.
So I'm focused on this biscuit. So I take like a good bite from this biscuit, and he's then all offended because he was like, "Well, I was going to kiss you then." And I was like, "I didn't even notice." I was like, "I was
I'm too
focused on
gross
the
with biscuit, mate.
yeah, basically." So that became like a whole joke thing between us. It's still funny today, but it's stuff like that. Unless you are. I don't know when someone's flirting with me. I don't know if someone's interested unless you are so
Yeah.
direct. But I find this in friendship as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Unless you're
I need
incredibly
somebody to be
direct.
like, I like you. Do you want to be my friend? And I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we are going to be friends. So we're actually, this brings me to a good point. When I was traveling in South America a few years ago, and I don't know if this is just me because I'm an only child or I've got trauma or ADHD, who knows, could be all three. But I am not very good at welcoming new people into my life. Like I'm very open and stuff like that. But if I'm going to spend a lot of time with you, like to be fucking blunt, you need to add value to my life. So if you're someone who's in my life, well done you. But it made it really difficult when we were traveling because the girl that I was traveling with, Sophie, she's a social butterfly. So she's like making besties with everyone. She'd inviting them to. She's not getting married, but she's the kind of girl that would meet somebody once, and be like, "Come to the wedding." I'm the opposite. So I found it quite. I wouldn't say hard, but something that I had to be very conscious of when I was traveling in South America, to be like, don't be a bitch, Alice, because you're with these people for 2 weeks. Enjoy it. You don't have to be besties with them. But there was one girl called Gabby. Gabby, shout out to you if you're listening to this. Gabby was one of those people where I was like, we're going to be best friends. I, knew that from day one. And after 2 weeks of suffering Patagonia and hiking for 26 kilometers a day, at the end of it, we then convinced her to come to the Atacama Desert with us. And then after that, so we really spent like, I don't know, maybe like 3 weeks together, but obviously 3 intense weeks because you're traveling, right? And I remember saying to her at the end of it, I was like, you've got me for life, don't you? And she was like, what? And I was like, this friendship, this has to be a forever thing now. Like I've invested too much to you. Like we're going to be best mates. And she was like, oh my God, I'm so glad you said that because I was thinking the same. But I needed that directness to be like, we're going to be mates. Like, yeah, even with friendships, I need that obviousness.
Yes. Yeah,
Which sounds so
100%.
weird.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I've made so many faux pas because I've thought, well, this person's not bothered about me, and then they've come to me and been like, you're one of my closest friends, and I'm like, oh, am I?
And you didn't realise, yeah. I'm the same as you. I'm not very. It's weird actually though, because I am a coach. And I love human behaviour, I love human psychology, I study a lot on neuroscience and stuff, and I love people watching. So I actually am, in one respect, very good at picking up on social subtleties and cues. And I think ADHDers are in general, which is why they probably go into hyperdrive when they're like, they didn't put a kiss on the end of the message, or they used a different emoji, and they can pick up on that and therefore spiral and sometimes they are right. But I like to think as a coach, I'm very good at noticing these subtleties in language and words and subconscious. And obviously, Alisha, hopefully, like through working with me as a coach, like I'm good at picking up I notice you've used this word, or I notice this subtlety in you, blah, blah, blah. Having said that, when it comes to, like you say, like that obviousness or the dating, it's like it's almost so obvious I can't see it. So I'm really good at seeing the subtle, which other fuckers won't see, but I can't see the obvious, which 99% of people can see. Does that make sense?
100%. I'm exactly the same, and I've come up with a little hypothesis around this for myself. And I think it's because when we're working as a coach, we're hyper focused, we're hyper fixated. It's our
Because
we're
we fucking love
obsessed.
it.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
obsessed. Like, I was thinking about how many hundreds of thousands of hours I'd put into, like, basically learning psychology and all this other stuff. And that's why I can take my clients, like, from insecurely attached to, like, securely attached within a year. Because and I was, like, literally thinking last night, like, how did I even fit that many hours in? But I did. But when it comes to, I think, more personal interaction, and I think especially as well if we're in a big social group, I think part of our brain just goes, nope, I think we disassociate a little bit. So we might
Yeah.
sometimes, like, whilst we can be like hyper vigilant and like really attuned, I think when it comes to our own blind spots about us, and I think it depends on how you're thinking about yourself as well. Because something I've noticed is that we can know we're good at a thing, like realizing how good we are and how much value we bring to the table is a completely different kettle of fish.
Yeah, and that's another ADHD thing, isn't it? Where
Yeah.
you're not able to see, like that value that you bring and stuff. Yeah. Alicia, thank you for talking to us about your great rack. If it makes you feel any better, I was on a date the other day and the guy called me out about. Bear in mind, this was a first date. He called me out, being like, "You're not very good at flirting, are you?" And I was like, "Nope." I was like, "You might as well get that out straight away," because he was like, your texts are a bit, So I thought, you know what, yeah, I'm just going to own it. And I was like, yeah, can't fucking flirt, mate. So I had no idea that you liked me. I said, so I jokingly was like, I need a really obvious sign that you like me. Like to be like, I like you. Would you like to go on a date? That kind of obvious. I said, and so I jokingly said, unless you grab a boob, I won't know you're interested, mate. To which he was like, really slowly. So it was very respectful and it was consensual. Slowly, like, got his hand and reached over and just went on my boob. It was so fucking funny because I was like, "You like me?" It was like this guy for about 10 minutes. So it did make me fucking laugh. And I was like, that's the level that I need, I need someone to like come in and consensually grab my boob to be like,
With the sound effects and everything.
yeah, if there's no sound effects, I don't know you like me. I just think you've accidentally brushed up against me. For context as well, obviously, people that know me, I have got no fucking tits either. So it is a proper, like, you got to go in and, like, find them. It's not like Alicia's rack where you've accidentally brushed against them. Like, you have to full on, like, go and find mine. So that's why I think it's a good indicator, because I'm like, oh, that wasn't an accidental brush. That was a, like... grabbing at it. Yeah. Anyway, on that note of our boobs, Alisha, thank you so much for coming onto the show. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your insights. I'm really grateful that I had you in my life to help me with it, and I was reading books and podcasts and stuff like that. So I just know that if you're going through that journey yourself, whether you're getting officially diagnosed or not, it doesn't really fucking matter, to be honest. If you think you've got it and you just want to learn a little bit more, I think it can be a very lonely place. So hopefully we've provided some lulls for you today, people, but hopefully we've also made you feel seen, that like you're not alone and you're like, oh my god, I do that as well, I've got like 40 pairs of fluffy socks or whatever. Alisha, just to leave with this, lovely, obviously you are an epic coach. I also work with Alisha myself. I'm doing a lot of up-leveling, a lot of identity work, a lot of like navigating who I am because of my ADHD, etc. I'm working with Alisha and she is a goddamn miracle worker as a coach. So just tell us a little bit more about what you do, lovely, and where we can find you. Because if anyone's listening to this and they're thinking, I need a bit of Alisha in my life, like, where can they come find you?
Yeah, so it's at the Quiet Rebellion Co. Or if you just put my name in, it should still come up. And basically, excuse me, I focus on supporting and guiding you to repair, reconnect, and reclaim the relationship with yourself. Like, underneath everything, the one relationship that I think isn't spoken about enough is the one with self. That's the most important one. That's the one you have for life. And, you know, I've got some clients that have come to me sort of like late 40s, early 50s, who have never had that connection. And we can only give to others to the degree that we give to ourselves. So if we're not giving ourselves kindness, compassion, love, then we're not really able to give. We might think we are, and usually to the detriment of ourselves. And it's basically putting you at least on the same level, if not higher, than everyone else, because you're a priority too. And I think in this society that we live in, that's very much pushed to the bottom if we even make the list. And often when my clients come to me, they're not even on the list. So it's getting them on the list and moving them up the priority order. And that's by, you know, healing their relationship with themselves and like discovering that actually they're a really fucking awesome person.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. We'll make sure we'll link show notes below. I'll link all details and stuff like that. But Alisha, thank you so much, lovely. Really just such a pleasure to have you on the show with said sparkly jumper that flashes as well. Thank you, my love. You have been an absolute star. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into Confessions of an ADHDer. If you have got your own confessionary tale that you want to share with me, come do. Come find me on Instagram, Alice_Dartnell. And yeah, tell me a DM, tell me your confession, tell me what's resonated with you today. And I promise you, you are definitely not alone on this journey. See you next time.